Hi everyone, this is our first training tutorial for PowerPoint, Microsoft PowerPoint. We're going to be looking at initially the file management side of things, which is where we normally start off with most of our exercises, which simply looks at how to open up and create a PowerPoint slideshow. But first of all, I wanted to just give a bit of a rundown as to what PowerPoint is all about and when it's used. Essentially, Microsoft PowerPoint is a presentation software program. It's used when people are typically providing information at a conference, for example, or you're presenting information to an audience. In order for you to be able to present information in a more informative or a more professional manner, it enables you to put your information into slides and project them to an overhead projector, for example, or you may want to project them onto your laptop onto a large screen, and people can therefore take notes based on the information that you're providing. You can also present information you can present graphs, data in a table, for example. You may even be able to copy and paste animation as well. It adds, I guess, more flavor to your presentation, makes it more interesting, enables you to convey information in another perspective, which will aid your presentation in your delivery. So it's quite a powerful program, and it's very useful, especially those that are presenting information. And also, it's more interesting to work with as opposed to Microsoft Excel. It enables a bit of creativity. It enables you to put pictures and design things. So those that don't quite like numbers, prefer pictures and a bit of creativity, they tend to enjoy using this program more. It will use features from Microsoft Word, especially the formatting side, inserting information, inserting pictures and formatting text and so forth. You'll see that a lot of it is transferable with the information that we covered in Microsoft Word. So that's a bit of a background as to PowerPoint and when it's used. First things first, as we start with most of our exercises, and this is the same as Word and Excel. To launch the program, you go to Start over here. This is Windows 10, depending on what Windows platform you're using. I'm going to scroll down here. These are all my programs that I have on this computer. I'm using Microsoft Office 2013, and I'm looking for PowerPoint, which is here. I'll then click on that, and this will launch my PowerPoint presentation from a PowerPoint software program. Now here you've got your blank presentation that we're going to be using, but you've also got some themes that are already pre-designed. You may, for example, choose to use one of these pre-designed formats, and that will minimize the amount of formatting you'll need to do. So obviously choosing this one, for example, or this one being a little bit more contemporary, gives you a theme, and you can build your information. You can add the information that you need within that format. But we're going to be using a blank presentation because we're going to be going through the whole concept of designing your theme as well as entering in your information. So if I click on this one here, that's my blank presentation slide. I can now go to File, and I'm going to Save As. I'm going to put this onto my desktop, and I'm going to give this a name. I'm going to call it Presentation 1 Ian, and I'm going to now save this. So now I've just simply created a presentation, and I've saved it onto my desktop. And as you know, from here you can now File, Close, and you can safely log out and log back in at any stage. This is essentially what we're going to be creating is something along the lines of this. Now, this is already a completed presentation. This one didn't open up. Try to open up another one. Just going to pop this on hold for a sec. This is the PowerPoint presentation I was just referring to earlier. It didn't open because it was in the wrong format. So essentially what you're going to be designing is something similar to this. So this is a PowerPoint presentation on point of operating systems.
Yes.
And you can use your keypad here to scroll through and go through and have a look at your information on the different presentations. As I was saying earlier, this is essentially what we're going to be creating. You can use your keypad to essentially work through. So let's assume here that we're presenting this information to our audience. You'll be obviously talking about certain aspects of your presentation, and you'll be therefore just using your keypad to scroll across. That's just an example of an end result. We'll come back to our training exercise. So right now what I've done is I've covered tutorial 1, which looks at file management. I've covered opening, save as, save and close, and I've shown you how to create a new document. So now I'm going to go across into the second tutorial, which is all about formatting. So I'll ask people to go back to their presentation that they've saved, and we will start to build our slides. Exercise 1 looks at creating a title slide. So here we've already got a template that we can add information into. So the exercise is asking us to enter in the following information. So exercise 1 is to create a title, a title slide, which is what we have. Exercise 2 is to create and enter information. So I'm going to just click on here, and it says the title is College Scholarship and Financial Aid. And the subtitle over here is Pay for College. Now, similar to Microsoft Word, our ribbon over here gives us options for formatting. So, for example, if I wanted to make this a little bit larger, I could highlight that, come over here, and increase the font size. I can also change the font type as well. So you can play around with the formatting over here, as we did earlier in Microsoft Word. Looking at our exercise, so we're up to exercise 3, creating new slides. So it's asking us to go to the Home tab, which is up here, and then we go to Slides Group. This is the Slides Group here, and we want to click on Select New Slide. So we're going to do this one here, and there's a few different options as to what type of a slide we want to create. Here it's asking us to create title and contents layout. So this one over here. So we're going to put a title as well as information within the next slide. And it's asking us to put the following information in here, which is in a title. Here is what to do. Here is what to do. And in the text, which is going to be dot points, start saving early. We enter, apply for financial aid. Okay, so this is the second slide. Now, exercise 4 shows you how to duplicate or copy an existing slide that you can modify. So for example, here if we right click our mouse button anywhere here, and it's got here duplicate slide is what I'm looking for. Hi everyone. What we need to do is you have to right click the slide 2 over in the panel. This is called the panel of your PowerPoint presentation. When you right click, you want to go to duplicate slide, which is over here. And then that simply copies that slide 2 and puts the content over into slide 3. And then from here you can modify that. So what we want to do is change the title, and we'll give it where to apply for aid. We've got over here first point, Pell Grants, work study programs, and federal loans. Now, the next bit of information looks at just an understanding of the functions within your program. So the first one looks at the status bar, which is over here. So obviously within the status bar, you've got various formatting options, as I indicated earlier. You've got your view button, which is down here. You can, for example, view your PowerPoint presentation in different contexts. So, for example, over here, I've viewed all my slides in one screen. I can have a look at it from this perspective, which enables me to edit and modify my slides as I go. I can have it in this format, which will show me how it would run as a presentation document. So if I was to present this information, this is the view that I'll have it at, and I can now run through my slides as per follows. So this is essentially the view. I'm going to go back. That's my zoom over here. So zoom is over here. I can make it bigger and smaller. Vertical and horizontal splitter bars, which are over here. If I go to view, okay. So this is your splitter bar over here. At the moment, I'm on my ruler, so I can have a look at exactly the layout of my information. So as you can see, I'm putting my cursor here, and what it does is over here it tells you where it sits on the scale, so you can design your slide accordingly. And then you've got your minimize and your maximize, which is all your standard functionality. So that's just a bit of information about designing your slide itself. And then we've got exercise 5, which is running your PowerPoint slideshow. So once it says, once you've created your slides, you can run your slideshow, do any of the following. Slideshow tab, select the beginning button. So if we go to slideshow over here, and if we click on from the beginning, it will then work through your slideshow. Now at this stage we haven't put in any animation yet. So if you use your next or your arrow on your keypad, it enables you to work through the slides from the beginning, or there's another way of doing it, and that is to press F5. So function 5 on your keypad. If you press that one, and depending on your computer that you use, you may need to hit Alt 5 or function F5 or Control F5 to get it to work. This hasn't worked yet. I'm just going to escape this now. So there's another alternative of pressing keys F5, but that hasn't worked on this laptop. So it may not work on your computer either. But definitely if you use the arrow, you're able to work through that way. Then you've got reordering or deleting slides. So you can reorder, select the correct slide you wish to move, and you can move it around. So for example, if I want to move 3 over to here, I can just drag it and move it, and I can reposition it like that. And I can delete each of the slides if I really wanted to as well. If I go right click, and then I can hit delete over here. Exercise 6, use 2-column text. Just having a quick read of this now. Hi guys, just a continuation with exercise 6, which is creating a new slideshow, but this occasion we're going to be using a format which enables us to enter in information into 2 columns. So that's very similar to what we did earlier. We go to new slides over here in the home bar, new slides. This time around we're going to select this one here, which is 2 contents. And essentially just type in information that's provided. So we've got other forms of aid. And type in some information, federal aid. Sorry, federal aid administered by college. And then tab. Now in this instant, I don't want a dot point. I want a dash. So I'm going to come over here and I'm going to look for how to put a dash in. So I'm going to go to numbers and formatting, and I'm going to look at what options I have. I'm looking for an option of being able to put a dash. Can't see that. Here we've got dash, so I guess we can use this one over here. Just that one there. Okay, so there we've got our dash. Parking, is it parking? Perkins loan. Loan. And SEOGS. SEOGS. And then if I really wanted to get particular, I can highlight it and I can actually move it across over here. This just makes an indent. So I'm essentially just copying the same formatting that's appearing in our exercise. Hope scholarships. Lifetime learning tax credits, tax benefits for higher education. Just one additional feature that I forgot to mention earlier. So if we just scroll back to page 3, I talked about notes. I came across it earlier. Point 8. Point 8 in that little table, which had status bar, view bar, zoom, vertical, horizontal split bar, and then you had 6 minimize, restore button, close button, number 7, and number 8 was notes. So what that essentially refers to is this function over here. So if we hit notes, as a speaker, you may want to add in additional notes only for yourself to see that relate to the information that you're presenting to the audience. So if there's something in particular that you want to address and talk in more detail about, you can put it into the notes section that relates to the slide. So example 1 and 2, I can put in the notes here, which relates to this slide. So this is a reference to me to give one or two examples that relate to that slide. And if I click on slide 3, I can put here, for example, example 4 and 5. And I can, when I'm discussing this slide, it gives me a reference to give some examples on